call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Luyu, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Grey Eyes, fill my eyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shift, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near. And the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in your ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the park, sink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light. Then the art of seduction walks soft through the smoke, silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke. Books and bards wakes dust in the depth of the shelves. Old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen up the ache. Gets a voice, pain stands up straight and makes silence a choice. Then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink but the pulse says pray. Echoes in the dark, oh hun, the fear, that thing when no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruised dress smart, and rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. There's a pulse with a pen, this is blood with an echo, this is breath with the backbone, ink with the crown. Live mics, live nerve, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark. A room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. and more. Late night poets, when the clock slips past polite, we tell the truth. L&P, we love you. Stay frosty.
Hello, world. Happy Wednesday. You are listening to The Art of Seduction. And this show is brought to you by a group on Late Night Poets, a group called Late Night Poets on the site allpoetry.com. And we have anthologies available on amazon.com, so feel free to check those out. That's it. Yeah, happy hump day, everybody. I'd like to welcome Pam Ray to the show. Hello, Pam Ray.
Hey Gray, happy hump day. How's it going?
That's going well, thank you.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, thank you so much for co-hosting tonight. I appreciate you. Um,
Oh, always happy to be here.
yeah, I appreciate you and everything that you do, as well as Fill My Eyes. You guys are both stellar superstars. Um,
Thank you.
anyway, Tim, go ahead and try calling in. Love to hear your voice.
Oh,
You don't have to read or
absolutely.
comment, but yeah,
Absolutely.
come and hang out with us.
Yeah, I've actually heard T. Manzano's voice before when he called into an after midnight show. So I know what he sounds like, but I would like
Uh,
to hear him call in more, I would like to have him join us more often since he makes such wonderful written comments, you know.
yeah, exactly. Um, he said he does. He has no idea how to. So I just
Oh,
said click
well,
the
yeah, I
link
mean,
in
if he wants
LNP.
to, I can bring him on stage as long as, you know, he's, let me make sure he has his camera off and, let's try this. See if this works.
Well, he seems to be there. Hello,
All
T.
right.
Hello, Tim.
Hey, hey,
I'm just wondering
Tim.
if can you guys hear me at all?
We
Yep.
can. Yes, you're a little
Hey,
soft. I don't know if you need to adjust your mic, but, you're just,
I do not have the best equipment right now. I just got some headphones, but I'll work on that.
oh, you know what? Headphones don't work really well with this site. Like Gray and I can't use our headphones. We have to just like I use my phone on speakerphone.
Okay, I just switched back to my laptop. Is that better?
Pretty much the same, but we can still hear you. So anyways, yeah, it's good to have you call in. Oh, hold on. I gotta remove myself from the stage.
Okay. So yeah,
All
welcome
right.
to the show, Tim. It's great to have you here. I've never heard your voice, so it is nice to hear your voice. Um, yeah, it's always good to have another caller on the show as well. Yeah, welcome to the show. Oh, everybody's gone out of there except for Pam Ray.
I know. Hold on. I just gotta change the layout. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Give me just a moment here.
All right. I see him again.
I mean, yeah. Oh, there we go. Back to normal. All right. Yeah. All right. So, Gray, how's your weather treating you?
Oh, it's a bright, sunny spring day. Just beautiful.
Oh, that is very nice. I know. I really regret that I didn't get outside today. Like I kept busy, but I kept busy with indoor stuff. And I kept thinking because we got up to 60 today, plus the sky was a pretty blue, the sun was shining. I'm hoping we have something similar tomorrow, but just my luck, we'll have like, an overcast day with a downpour or something.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You got to make hay while the sun shines, as they say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how about you, T? How's your weather treating you?
Okay, well, I guess
Oh, okay. He said he's going to.
I'm going to try just for my laptop microphone. I know I'm very quiet, so I'm just going to say, weather here in California is always great. We're spoiled as all kinds of get out. So
Oh, nice.
I have nothing to complain about for sure.
All right. All right. And well, we'll let you go on mute and work on whatever you need to, and we'll carry forth with the show. And I see Lou, and I see Robbie, and very cool, very cool. Hey, Lou, good to see you. All right. And Gray, you want to tell us anything about tonight's show, like tonight's rights?
Well, they're basically carryovers from previous shows, from 3 different shows. So
Oh, a nice variety of sensual poetry.
yeah. Lee's asking if we can hear her, but I don't see her in the studio. So.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you wanted to come onto the stage yet. No, we wouldn't be able to hear her because I haven't brought her on the stage yet. I was just going to ask her if she wanted to be brought on. So I will go ahead and do that. All right. I'm also going to check something else. All right.
Well, hopefully this will work
right.
for Lee tonight. She has issues where
So,
she's at. So. With her
here
internet.
we go. All right. Hey, Lou.
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read the poems because if I go to catch it, I might lose. But if that happens, I'll call back.
Okay, well, just to let you know, your poem does have a SoundCloud and we have it loaded.
Oh, I did make a SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, Pam told me in the last half an hour that there was a recording, but her and Phil took care of it, all behind my back.
Thank you, Gray.
Sorry?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. Thank you, Phil.
Absolutely, no problem. We wanted to hear Lou's voice one way or another. So
yeah, exactly.
So much trouble.
All right. Well, I guess whenever you're ready, Gray, I can put up the poems and we can get this this ball rolling.
All right. If you want to do that, that'd be great.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so we have Lover of Words brings us transferable skills. Across the room he sits, cradling his blues harp, breathing fresh nuance into a familiar tune. They exchange knowing glances, and for a moment his grin stops the music as they recall her breathful affirmation after last night's private performance. It pays to marry a harmonica player, she gushed as he reached the flutter tongue finale. He resumes with a more lingering tempo, shaping and bending each note, more attuned now to the texture, timbre of each tone, and closing their eyes, they both note with particular relish the slow, deep tremolo his deft tongue trills elicit at one especially responsive spot on the lower reeds. End poem. And the author's note says, I also wrote a brevity version of this poem in Tonka form, which got more attention. Musicians may prefer the more detailed suggestiveness of this original fuller version. End poem. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Oh, I really like this one. And I have to tell you that I almost consider this a brevity myself. So I think I'd like to see the other the brevity form of this, because it'd be interesting to see what he chose to take out. I really think this has wonderful imagery, great use of illusion. This is a beautiful sensual rite on the joy of being married to a harmonica player, and it just absolutely gave me a great big grin. Especially in that first stanza, his grin stops the music as they recall her breathful affirmation after last night's private performance. It pays to marry a harmonica player, she gushed as he reached the flutter-tongued finale. Wonderful lines and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam. Ray, thank you so much. And Lou Wildup, what did you think? Oh, she's not here. All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like a good match. I like the inference to the art of cunnilingus that a harmonica player would be most adept at. Um, so yeah, I thought it was great. I liked the tempo and the rhythm of the poem. It had a beautiful flow to it, as well as the imagery. You could smell the smoke in the bar, and you could see the man with the harmonica playing. So beautifully done. Louis Wildup, what did you think?
Hello.
Hi, Louis.
Hi. Okay. Well, I
What did
didn't
you
get to
think of the
hear
poem?
most of the poem, but just listening to your both of your comments, there's just something so erotic about lips and somebody's tongue, and thinking of how they could play your body with that, and then the smoke just was just you know from what I heard, y'all, it was deeply sexy.
Thank you, Louis. Much appreciated. All right, T Mangiano, what did you think?
Yeah,
All right.
is my mic better now?
Is your mic better yet?
Okay, good. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm gonna give this a shot. Volume a bit, so I don't get so much echoing. But there was like a double layer kind of thing going on. If you ask me, it had like a double meaning. It had this like literal scene about music. Of course, got that surface tension there. But I agree with Lou. It was really had like a sexual metaphor going on below it, and I don't know. I thought it was really, really cool. Even the title for me, it hinted towards that transferable skills. I think that really pointed very well. I really like this. It was so well done. It almost felt almost comedic in a way, but also really, really sexy. I don't know. I liked it a lot.
Absolutely. Wonderful comment. Thank you, T. All right, Pam Ray, where are we to next? Hello, Pam.
Oops, sorry. I forgot I was on mute. All right, we have Counter Intuition by Avesty. And let me go and do a couple more clicks, and I will give that a read. All right. So, Counter Intuition by Avesty. How was it when we first met? With the day dimmed, the stars above, as you laughed, you pointed to the brightest one, revealing it was never a star at all. I felt betrayed. Although fury found me first, it was curiosity who stayed, leading me down the rabbit hole, through the dark, opening the window on the world to the world outside. And when we stared at the candle, thinking of nothing, spun among the flowers, dancing with the wind, dreamed along the cliff, naming the waves, weaved between the clouds, trailing sands of time, reaching the end of the world, only to begin again. They were you all along. Through the entire journey, you guided me, and I was no longer the mere child who wandered lost too confidently. Perhaps you took me into the night, but you led me to a brighter sunrise. And poem.
Beautiful read, Pam. And to me, that's a cosmic journey through the universe of love. Um, there's something so beautiful about two energies losing their bodies and just flying into the universe. Um, I think it's magical. I do think it can happen, and you know it when you're experiencing it. You know that you're traveling like a comet through the sky. You know you're traveling through the universe with your lover, and they're guiding you. Um, I thought it was beautiful. The whole thing is just chock a block with excellent imagery. You can feel the emotions, which is beautiful. Spun among the flowers, dancing with the wind, dreamed along the cliff, naming the waves, weaved between the clouds, trailing sands of time, reaching the end of the world, only to begin again. Just a beautiful write on the connection that happens between two people when they're in love. Thanks so much for sharing, Avasti. And Louis Wildup, what did you think?
Well, I thought that was a beautiful read by Pam, and also the way that the poet wrote. It started off where, she said that she was kind of childlike in her mind, and that he was showing her the stars, but for some reason she didn't see it. She said he thought he was blind, but she thought she'd stay and check him out a little more. And when she did, he opened her eyes to beauty and wonder and cosmic energy, and learned to see the flowers in the wind, feel the breeze, um, the stone, the mountain, the cliff, and the water. And he opened up her mind to something she hadn't seen before. And so I really enjoyed this cosmic journey. It was beautiful. And yeah, like I agree with Gray. When you travel with somebody and they open up your eyes, it's just pure wonderment and love.
Beautiful comment. Thanks so much, Louis Wildup. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
I thought this had really thoughtful lines. I felt more of the romanticism of it than the sensuality, but I like how it delves into the thoughts of nostalgia on that first meeting with a person who you find to be challenging, and the idea that eventually the way they challenge you helps you to ponder new ideas, helps you to see things in a new way, and brings to you a brighter future that's filled with love. And I thought this was wonderful all the way through, but I did especially like those last few lines. Very well written by Avesty.
Thanks so much, Pam Ray. And Team Antenna, what did you think?
Well, first I want to ask, can you guys hear me okay? Does it sound all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. I really love that line. Although fury found me first, it was curiosity who stayed. I think that for me, that's kind of like the central thesis of this whole thing. It's like, the juxtaposition of first comes anger, then curiosity. It's like there was this like defensiveness, but then it opened. It's like it even started kind of deceptively, like you pointed to the brightest one, revealing it was never a star at all. I felt betrayed. So there's like this disillusionment, but then it just goes into this, like, I don't know, it's like a belief. It's like it fell into a belief, and then it just it's interesting. It reminds me of some relationships that kind of start much like mine, where we really didn't hit it off, and then we were even guarded, maybe even defensive about maybe past relationships, and then you end up finding yourself in this way. It almost like let's say she or he. You can't. I don't know if it's a two people. What that position is with those two people, but one found the other and then led them, and then they trusted it and went through it. I thought it was really, really beautiful. It was a beautiful ride.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. All right, Pam Ray, where are we to next?
All right. Up next, we have Wax and Want by Mindchild. And Lou, could you give that a read for us, please?
I can't access all poetry if I'm on.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I tried. That's why you kept seeing me drop, because I was trying to access it and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
All right. And you don't have a tablet or a computer you could use?
Well, I don't have any place to keep it safe here at rehab.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. All right. Tim, any chance we could get you to give that a read?
Oh boy, I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but I can give it a shot. I hope I do it justice. I'm not the greatest at this. I got to say, I get a little nervous, but you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. You got to kind of dive into the deep end, right?
Exactly. Right. Go for it.
All right. So I would imagine that the author's name is Mindchild. Am I saying that correct?
Mindchild. Yeah.
Wax and Want by Mindchild. He closes the distance, slow enough to hurt, close enough that my breath forgets its rhythm, close enough that my body answers before my mind is allowed an opinion. His hand claims my waist, not asking, not testing, pulling me until my softness confesses against the chest, his chest, until there is no intent space left. Until there is no innocent space left between bone and intention. The table waits behind me. I am placed there, not gently, not cruelly, but with certainty, as if this moment had been rehearsed in his thoughts long before I arrived. Candles. Candles drip wax, thick, patient, watching. The flames tremble lower, as though they know they should not witness this. Warm light spills, amber and sinful, over skin, over breath, over the space we have been denying. He leans in, not yet, not fully, his mouth hovering, a promise sharpened by delay. It stretches the wanting until it aches in my teeth, until my pulse betrays me. Then, a kiss, short, measured, pressed into me like a warning. He pulls back, looks at me, then pauses. Then pause is deliberate, punishing. I smile anyway. That is when he breaks restraint. My mouth is taken, slow at first, then deeper, as if control has finally lost its argument. The kiss is not polite. It is consuming, wet, unapologetic. Our mouths lose language, learn only need. The word presses against us as if it disapproves. I press back harder. His hands stay on my waist, grounded, passive, thumbs pressing just enough to remind me where I belong in this second. Mine rise into his hair, curl at the nape of his neck, holding him there because leaving is no longer permitted. This kiss grows reckless, his breath, his teeth, with hunger that has waited for too long, to remain civil. Time forgets its duty. The house holds its silence. Candles burn shorter, like they are counting down. We hover on the edge of something we both understand and refuse to name. And in the low, wicked light, with heat thick between us, we take and take and take. The kiss we have been denying ourselves, slow enough to savor, hard enough to ruin, dangerous enough to haunt every quiet night after. End poem.
Wow, beautiful read, Key Montano. You're a skillful reader. But you did a beautiful job reading that. Pam Ray, what did you think?
I think, oh my goodness, I think you throw that man in the deep end, he starts doing the backstroke. Holy moly. Great read there, Tim. But the poem itself, oh my goodness, yeah, this one brings a whole lot of heat. I love the idea of the consistency in tone, the use of spacing, the sensual play with hot wax is really such a treat for the senses. I like how this is all about testing your partner's patience, how it has that buildup of intensity till you just want more and more. But your patience is pushed to its limit, you know, and there's definitely great play within this. And I think there's strong lines throughout, but I especially like the kiss grows reckless with breath, with teeth, with hunger that has waited far too long to remain civil. Wonderful lines, beautifully written, and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. And Louis, well done. What did you think?
Oh, let me go ahead and see if she wants to come back on. All right. Welcome back, Lou.
Hello, Louis. No. Alrighty, well, I'll continue commenting. But there's such an intense buildup in this that is just palpable. Um, you can feel the desire building, the passion rising. Um, my mouth is taken slow at first, then deeper, as if control has finally lost its argument. The kiss is not polite; it's consuming, wet, unapologetic. Our mouths lose language, learn only need. When you're so buried in that kiss, so inside of that kiss, the whole world falls around you, and you don't care because you all you want is your connection to that kiss. But I also like and that penultimate stanza where it says, "And in that low wicked light, with heat thick between us, we take and take and take." Just a beautiful rate throughout, passionate and engaging. Well done. Thank you so much, Mind Child. And Team Antenna, what are your thoughts?
Well, my heart was racing as I read it, a little bit because it's the first time I've ever done that. But wow, you can really feel it's just this intense. Uh, it's just sensual, but also a little reckless. I like this part, especially. The table waits behind me. I am placed there, not gently, not cruelly, but with certainty, as if this moment had been rehearsed in his thoughts long before I arrived. Candles. Candles drip wax, thick, patient, watching. The flames tremble lower, as though as though they know they should not witness this. It's almost like part of it feels like it's so hot that it's like just for them. And there's a point where and I'm hoping that we've all been able to feel this, when you're with someone and it's incredibly intense, there's almost no wrong. And it's almost like, the movements and in the passion, everything becomes like almost like surreal. Unfortunately, in my experience, those relationships don't last very long. They fizzle out immediately or within a week when I was younger, of course. But that's what this reminds me of, that like, you can't take your hands off each other and everything is perfect and everything is incredibly hot. And man, it was on fire. This thing was on fire. I loved it.
Yeah, beautiful comment. Thanks so much, Team Antenna. And I think we're going to have to give up on Lee Wildub just because of where she is. She has really bad internet, so she keeps dropping. Um, so you have a
Oh,
good
well,
night, you.
yeah, that's no problem. And, hopefully soon we'll get that figured out, but it's understandable. And at least she can, hang on the board and, listen in or so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a good thing. It was good to hear her. Good to hear her for sure.
Yeah,
And always good to see her. All
absolutely.
right.
We wish her healing wishes.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. All right. So I'm getting the next one up, and it is Rushing Upon a Serpent Dagger by Daisy Bronx. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Okay. Pointed leaves, jagged, smarting pleasure pounded against singing steel, heated blood flowing along evening edges, glittering metal that guts out turpentine truths, lingering pain, deep, dulling ache. We are bound by pulsating pressure, trauma of rushing hormones, love and impossible dreams. My blood, a rushing river, driving me off isolated cliffs, to you, for we live in bondage of the body and heart, life making us timid actors. In the night, we turn barrel, Belizean beach huts, mosquitoes attacking bare naked skin. You war against sensitive intestines, the sound of pain, a treasured response, imploding all the aggressive independence left in me. Full impact pain. I find my way in dizzying love, tears dripping down your hairy navel. I live in this authentic love with you, singing exasperated breaths, extremes strumming against my skin. Bury all your pain inside me, serpents slithering under my muscles, by all your impossible desires, explosions of volcanic pain, a sign of chaotic passion. Harvest moon, Spanish moss swinging in the chill of October nights, bayous, silent sentinels of murky mysteries, entryways and edges of the void. You enter into me on the edges of serpent daggers, taut skin against pointed pledges, nighttime and blood red convictions. Our pain, just as much a contract as love, co-joined spirits expressing wanton need. End poem. And the author's notes say love, bruised and ripe, hedonistic and true, even amongst the inhales of air between the aches that fill me. And poem and comment. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Wonderful read there, Gray. This is a beautiful and captivating, dark, sensual write. It's very visceral. I like how it speaks on the bondage of body and heart, how it speaks on the impact of love, how it can leave you feeling disorientated, and wonderful imagery, powerful lines. I like how it speaks on the idea of the desire that brings forth this ache of the body and the soul. And great lines throughout, but I especially like Harvest Moon, Spanish moss swinging in the chill of October nights, bayous, silent sentinels of murky mysteries, entryways and edges of the void. You enter into me on the edges of serpent daggers, taut skin against pointed pledges, nighttime and blood red convictions. Wonderful lines and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. And T Manzano, what did you think?
Uh, you know, I think it started with when I first read the title, and it almost like, rushing upon a serpent's dagger. I mean, it immediately has this, danger to it, and it's like, and then you start reading it, and you go, okay, I got it. It's this like you don't want this person, but it's the danger, I think, that might even sometimes, kind of bring us in. You got the daggers, will have a wound, and then the serpent, attempts, and so it's kind of like this kind of double meaning in there. That is one thing. It's like, I know this is not good for me, but I have to, and then it's also, wow, it's so like, I think, Pam, you said it's very visceral. I you can really, it's almost palpable. Bury all your pain inside me. Wow, what a powerful line. I mean, I think this is, in these sensual rites, you can see how I think sometimes people can like lose themselves, regardless of maybe what you're giving up or what you're giving to it. It was amazing that way for me anyway. This is great, right? Really great, right?
Thank you, Kim. And yeah, I really enjoyed this poem as well. Um, there's the blending of pleasure and pain, and I think that's your thing, Pam. Um, I thought of you as we read through this, right? Live in bondage of the body and heart, life making us timid actors. In the night, we turn feral. I mean, if that doesn't say it all right there, then I don't know what does. But Belizean beach huts, mosquitoes attacking bare naked skin. You war against sensitive intestines. The sound of a treasured response, imploding all the aggressive independence left in me. You know, um, I mean, that's metaphorically rich and powerful. Um, the whole thing is just steeped in metaphors and rich complexities that leave the reader engaged and wanting more. Beautifully done, Daisy Bronx. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Pam, right, where are we to next?
All right. Well, let me go ahead first of all, and we're going to try something one more time. And all right. So, added Lou to the stage, and I'm going to go ahead and go grab her right. Sorry, gotta. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves while I'm getting my link.
Well, I'll just say this. I don't know how much more that I'm going to be able to do this with a clear mind, because I'm drinking a lot of wine, and eventually I'll be slurry. So,
Oh, no problem. Well,
So you're
we
saying you're going to pass out and we're going to do your snoring?
no, I think it might be worse than that. I may start getting inappropriate. So that's where I need to save myself.
What are you calling me? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Here we go. One link here, two, and all right. Then back to where I need to go. All right. So up next we have Cada Respiro Mi Mundo Te Espera by Lu Wild Dove. And Lou, if you don't mind, oh, she left. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even notice that. Well, we do have a SoundCloud for that. So I am gonna go ahead and go play that. So
Cada respiro mi mundo te espera by Lu Wild Dove. Breaths exhale passionate delights. Deep onyx pupils portals swell. Internal swirling, mortal flames. Waking thoughts, awakening dreams. Liquored moonshine spills over divided continents. Shadowed linens. Dusk sings the feather wild cries. Beneath night stars, a whippoorwill. Calloused fingers, wolfish hands rest. Lie on full, soft, rhythmical, stimulated hips. Firestorms exhales, lingering in sunbeams, undressing Latina's coppery physique. Earthen blushing, spears flushing, doves' joyous moans, sing as my heart pounds. Our breastbones vibrate, a light and smoking breath. Wild, flitting, pressed, fruity, garnet, full-bodied ruby wine kisses, gazing at muscular thighs with unpretending, craving, yearning eyes, drawing in wooed gasps. Pen sooty ink scribes poetry on every coffee napkin. Notebooks, pencil lines, shades, plead for the taste of your sweet mouth. Your evergreen scent winds hang, scenting desert mesquite mountains, lonely gray clouds sauntering above desert lilies, golden poppies, redbird of paradise swaying blooms. This typical topsy-turvy square wall-to-wall life. Deep breaths mingling, closed dreamy lashed lids. Mi amor, cada respiro mi mundo te espera. Yo respiro, yo respiro.
Beautiful read, Louis Wild Dove, and such a warm and biting write. What did you think, Pam Ray?
oh, this is absolutely beautiful. I mean, she got 2 golds for this right. And both of them were so well deserved. Beautifully written couplets, wonderful imagery and metaphors. Of course, I really enjoyed hearing it in her voice. And the Spanish was a nice touch. This was originally written to the quote, I want to know you moved and breathed in the same world with me by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And to me, has the kind of, it's the kind of right that speaks on the eroticism of breaths shared and a deep connection between two people. And I thought there were wonderful lines throughout, but I especially liked wild, flitting, pressed, fruity garnet, full-bodied ruby wine kisses, gazing at muscular thighs with unpretending, craving, yearning eyes, drawing in wooed gaffs, pen, sooty, ink, scribes, poetry on every coffee napkin. And I could keep going because there's just so many beautiful lines throughout, and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. And Tim, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, the read was just spectacular. It was just so the breathiness of it was just it was textural. It was I could really feel it. Incredibly sensual. It's like an almost like existential type of write. Where there was like devotion and waiting and love, kind of all wrapped up in one. And then the ending is just, I mean, come on, that was just about as sexiest thing you can ever hear. I read the author's notes where yo respiro means I breathe. Not only did the yo respiro, the way she ended it sounded great, but then when I read that it means I breathe, I was like, wow. Okay, so yeah, there's just a tenderness to it, and then there's this, it's physical, and it has this yearning, but not necessarily possession. I think is probably important. Very consuming. I was really sucked in. Lou, that was amazing, right? And I think I heard Pam say that you won a couple of golds off this. I can't believe you didn't win more, because this is exceptional, right? Pam, you also mentioned there were couplets there. It didn't even dawn on me that there were couplets. It just it just moved so smoothly with itself. Man, I was really impressed with this one. I'm gonna be back to read it again, just so I can hear my hair stand up a little bit.
Beautiful comment. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I mean, Liu's got a unique ability to seduce with her words and her voice. Um, she's always making a beautiful addition to the art of sensuality, or the art of seduction. Sorry, and she's got the art mastered. So kudos to you, Liu. Congratulations on your gold medal. Your reading was spot on and spectacular. Uh, just a lovely job throughout. So beautifully done, Liu. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, where are we to
Guys,
next?
real quick, I'm gonna bounce out because I'm just gonna need to do a couple things, but the wine's kind of
All
getting
right.
me. I don't want to be an idiot. Thank you for
No
having me.
no problem. Well, thank you so much, Tim, for calling in, and you have a wonderful night.
Yeah, good night, Tim.
I'm gonna stay on the board to listen. I
Okay.
won't be doing any
Okay.
reading or comments. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. So up next we have is it Amor, or is there another? Let me check here. L'Amor by Naomi Sarah. And she was also nice enough to supply us with a SoundCloud. So let me go ahead and hold on. I'm going to do something here. All right. Go ahead and play that.
L'amour. Two embers embraced in crackling crimsons of chaotic crescendos, constantly craving to be rekindled. Entangled tongues, thirsting for one another, scorched, dry mouths, sucking dribbled dewy drops from a plump, juicy peach. At times a cacophony of quibbling crows, and others the tranquil togetherness of in-sync footsteps. It shivers in curves of your chest pressed to my back, your arms encircling my waist, your lips fluttering across my neck as my hands are deep in soapy suds. Floats around in a cup of coffee you brewed just for me, with 2 teaspoons of sugar and splashes of cream. Sings through your cheery morning sunshine as you laugh, running your fingers through my messy curls. Sparkles under sapphire-swept skies. You sitting on our porch, softly strumming your guitar as our chit-chat dances into cherry-kissed dusk. Sticks to our fridge inside leftover lines of scribbled notes you jotted down that still make me smile. Shines through the darkness of a cold winter's night when you pull up the blankets to tuck me in tight. Hides in the arch of your foot, tiptoeing under the sheets to brush up against mine. Your breath warm on my cheek as you whisper tenderly, I just needed to touch you. Ah, l'amour, it forever flickers and flares in raspy roars of an old rock and roll refrain, quivering vibration from a violinist's chord, pearls of pastels on a painter's palette, and a pit-a-pat promenade under a poet's pen.
Hello?
Yes. I thought this was a wonderful sensual right by Naomi. It definitely deserved more of a comment than the last time I commented on it back like 6 years ago. I think I was still very new at commenting. But this was wonderful to have the opportunity to read and hear this one again. Great spacing, wonderful imagery and metaphors, really nice use of alliteration. I like how this is such a treat for the senses as she brings in all these different textures, flavors, and colors. And I thought there was great lines throughout, but I especially like it shivers and curves of your chest pressed to my back, your arms encircling my waist, your lips fluttering across my neck as my hands are deep in soapy suds. Floats around in a cup of coffee you brewed just for me with 2 teaspoons of sugar and splashes of cream. I mean, really just an absolutely delicious treat for the senses. Beautifully written by Naomi.
Thank you, Pam Ray. Yeah, I mean, the write was amazing, but there's just something about accents, I think, that adds to the seduction of poetry. You know, Louis has the Spanish accent, and Naomi has the French accent, and both of them just had me hypnotized. You know, just like that cartoon of the wolf who follows the smell of the pie to the window in the cartoons. That to me, when I listen to both Naomi and Louis read, it's like I'm that wolf, floating on the air, just hypnotized by the smell and being, pulled to the window where the pies are cooling in the window. Um, yeah, I want pie.
Oh
um,
my goodness gracious.
right? I miss Naomi. I hope she's doing well.
I
But
do
I just want to
too.
say we love
Yeah.
you and we miss you, Naomi. We hope you're back soon. Um, but this is just beautiful throughout. There's just such a I don't know, just the art of being together and the intimacy of that is palpable in this right. There's such a intimate and engaging nature to this right. Um, I mean, she's basically describing doing the dishes, and he's seducing her while her hands are deep in soapy suds. Um, So a beautiful write. I really enjoyed L'Amour. It forever flickers and flares and raspy roars of an old rock and roll refrain, quivering vibrations from a violinist's chord, pearls of pastels on a painter's palette, and a pitty pat promenade, promenade under a poet's pen. Um, it's art. The whole thing is art. The read, the write, everything's so beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing, Naomi. Appreciate that very much.
Oh, absolutely. I like that you brought up the fact that it really is about like just washing the dishes and that time together because it reminds us that sensuality and love and desire doesn't have to always be about big grand moments. It can be about the everyday day-to-day life time that you spend together. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
yes. All right. Gonna grab the next right and all right. So up next we have The Crimson Altar of Desire by Confused Lambda, and it goes like this. He'll think it's the velvet that draws him in, but it's me. This skin, this sin, this carefully coiled trap, wrapped in whispers and thigh-high black. The candles flicker like old regrets, and the air smells of lust and aftermath. Shadows speak in silence around me, their hollow mouths gaping like men who came too close too fast and stayed too long. The room is thick with wine dark want, and I sit at its center, a storm with a slow smile, my hunger dressed in lipstick and lust slicked over my thighs. I light the match with my tongue. Let it burn, let it sting, the embers fall like little deaths on this altar of desire where I am both goddess and gallows. My gaze, a blade dressed in perfume, my smile, a bite with red lips to hide it. They say I'm wicked, they're right, but wickedness wears silk better than innocence, and I never promised salvation, only surrender. I don't just want him. I ache for the soft of his throat beneath my nails. I want to feel him break beautifully, not with pain, but with pleasure, so intense it ruins him for everyone else. He'll enter like a man, he'll leave like a memory, marked, undone, rebuilt in the shape of my desire. In my mind, I've already tasted him, dragged my tongue down the line where his thoughts end and his instincts begin. He moans in my head, obedient, aching, open. I don't need his name, I need his pulse. I want to tear into his certainty with the grin of a girl who knows exactly how ruin feels when it tastes this good. His breath will hitch when I straddle his soul, not just his hips. Every inch of him will be rewritten in red. I'll unbutton his resistance slowly until his mind forgets what boundaries were, until the only word left in his mouth is mine. This isn't a seduction, it's a sacrament. I worship with bite marks, pray in tangled sheets, and take communion in the holy gasp of surrender. Come closer, lover. Come willingly or crawl. So crawl closer, lover. Kiss the crimson sheets. Offer your pulse. Worship with your body and forget the price until it's far too late. I don't need chains to bind you. I just need you to look into my eyes and forget who you were before tonight. But either way, you're already mine. And by the time you realize what I've done to you, you'll beg me to do it again. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam, right? But honestly, this reads like you wrote it.
It does have that flair to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Control, domination. Yeah. Crawl to me. um, so this is written to a contest that's called. Um, oh, sorry. It's written to a contest. I know that, but what contest? I'm not sure. But it's by something to do with for dark gothic writers. Um, it says in the author's notes, this poem is an invocation of power, sensuality, and control, where desire is not a passive longing, but an active force, and unapologetic and consuming. It explores the sacred and the sinful as reflections of the same hunger, and the act of seduction as both ritual and reclamation. Beneath the lace and lipstick lies something deeper, the assertion that pleasure, when fully owned, can be a weapon, a prayer, and a transformation all at once. This is not about love. This is about worship on my terms. Wow. My comment was, I feel like a slave to your needs, wants, and desires. Yes, mistress, no mistress, please. I will be a good boy, I promise. Right? And then I put, all hail the power of a woman who owns her passion and desires. Yeah, beautifully written, and you did a beautiful job of reading it, Pam Ray. What did you think of the right, Pam?
Oh, this one was definitely a pleasure to read. I mean, it is just full on, beautifully erotic, powerful lines, absolutely captivating. I do like how it speaks on the idea of control and submission as the act of sensuality and eroticism as a form of worship and bringing forth satisfaction. And I also like how it had little bits of that kind of dark vampiric feel to it. um and I think there's great lines throughout, but I especially like, he'll enter like a man, he'll leave like a memory, marked undone, rebuild in the shape of my desire. In my mind, I've already tasted him, dragged my tongue down the line where his thoughts end and his instincts begin. He moans in my head, obedient, aching, open. Wonderful lines, beautifully written and very well done. All
Great
right.
comment. Thank you, Pam Ray.
And back to where I need to be to grab the next poem. All right. So go. Do, 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 do. Oh, come on. All right. And do we? Ah. All right. Up next, we have Femme Fatale by Tito828. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Alrighty. The Madonna complex, a stigma, battle of sex, but heroines no longer conform to this outdated norm. A woman with opinions and spine, once upon a time, often undermined, wearing false terms and labels from misplaced blamed and turned tables. Femme fatale, seductive and mysterious, can behold honor in class. The maiden, innocent and modest, can be sensual with brass. Beauty is in the balance, promoting feminine within when both are truly accepted, eliminating the once expected. My own inner blend, not considering a guy, shopping only for pieces to try, solely craving the man, accepting all of who I am. Embedded under my skin, knowing where my soul has been, he handles with kindness and grace, his embrace transforming my space. Craving his sensual touch, I release the layers I clutch, placing my shields to rest, I melt into his caress. The primal fire within, searing upon my skin, a slow and steady burn through every moan and turn. My hidden secrets revealed to him, yet willfully I yield. He the only one to see inside the naked me. End poem. Wow, what did you think,
Great.
Pam? Ray?
A great read there, Gray. This is a wonderful write. It's very intelligent. Um, I like how she delves into philosophy and psychology and the idea of men's misconception of women. And you know, she grabs your attention immediately with writing about the Madonna complex, the idea that that the men want their women to be both innocent and sluts at the same time, basically. But like they want to control when and where women can be those things. I mean, I think I'm probably slightly off explaining it, but it just really has a lot to do with, I think, misconceptions and the need for control of what a woman is allowed to be. She brings in here both the maiden. She brings in the maiden and the femme fatale and the maiden as two different counterparts within a woman. And I really like where she says beauty is in the balance, promoting feminine within when both are truly accepted, eliminating the once expected. Like understanding, the understanding that there are different aspects of a woman that finds balance. And the most beautiful thing is when she finds a partner that loves and adores every part of who she is in both flesh and spirit. And I think there is great lines throughout, but I really did like that fourth and fifth and the closing stanza. So very well done.
Absolutely. Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Yeah. Oops, shoot. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was beautiful. There's nothing like a woman who knows her strength and doesn't let that be conquered, but is willing to set her shield aside and accept her man's caress. Um, with the primal fire within searing upon her skin, a slow and steady burn through every moan and turn. My hidden secrets revealed to him, I willfully yield. He the one to see inside the naked me. Yeah, this is a beautiful right about laying down your shield and accepting the man that's won your heart. So beautifully done. Thanks so much, Tito 828. All right, Pam Ray,
Absolutely.
where are we to next?
All right. Well, couple clicks there and bouncing back. And up next, we have Firebird by Lana Lewis Bludgett. And it goes like this. Slick sweat caramelizes into ethers in the cobalt blue room, heavy with breath. Hungry hands spark, stroking the primordial perfection of glistening steam-covered curves. Flashing nerves pulsate and throb like red firebirds insanely combusting, darting in fiery circles to rouse with banging wings, hovering wickedly in a blind cosmic abyss. The swell of waterless oceans form inside a tidal wave, as forces relinquish gravity, washing over each atom with every cell that defines us as human, leavening into the void of non-existence as we lay like the empty hulls of ships on the shores of completeness as our singular source of destiny. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam Ray. And I really enjoyed the write. Lana Lewis Blodgett, the new name to me, but I enjoyed it. I like the picture that she put with it. So beautiful. Um, but hungry hands spark, stroking the primordial perfection of glistening steam covered curves. Flashing nerves pulsate and throb like red firebirds insanely combusting, darting in fiery circles to rouse with banging wings, hovering wickedly in a blind cosmic abyss. Um, there's just such a beauty to this that really hits home, and I thought it was just a wonderful write. You did a beautiful read of it too, Pam.
Thank you, Gray, and great comment there. Yeah, I too was admiring the artwork. I'm going to have to. I noticed she put in her AN that the artist of that is Leon Bast, and I'm going to have to check out more of his artwork. It looks like something that'd be interesting to run a contest for. Wow, this is just, it grabs your attention and it keeps it. I like how it speaks on, love and desire on a singular level, like cell by cell, but on, each atom being affected, but also spreads out into the idea of the cosmic abyss. Brilliant imagery and metaphors, just a wonderful central right on forces of love and desire that connect two people in destiny. The idea that two people were just always meant to be drawn to each other. Just absolutely an amazing write and very well done.
Fantastic comment, Pam. Thanks so much. All right, where are we to next, Pam Ray?
All right. Well, that's a good question there, Gray Eye Smith. All right. All right. And then back to here. All right. We have Nights to Remember by Robert Pileski. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Sure. Oh, the nights with lust thick like fog, when irises meet in the darkness. Fingers find buttons to turn the daylights on. Exhale whiff of ether into your lips, make you transparent, faint, lightheaded. Hungry fingers dance, shiver, lost in the welcoming realm. Feel the spine's outline. Inquisitive tongues move in waves, possessing trenches of desire. Set new boundaries. Touch tender petals, blooming flower, melting into one tantalizing space. Promised land. Kiss up and down your curves. Explore your heaps of thighs. Engrave our names with the tongue. Fingernails run a seam. Carve blood. Seals on a belly rotund. Tongue sucks the gold. Taste the salt on the lips. Hear a burning song. Passion. Feverish delirium. The carnal knowledge floods the mind. Candle of your flame dances around the wick. Inflames the straw trigger. igniting straw sets off fire. Your fingers crowd on the violin's neck. Fiddlehead, the nugget of pain. Tune it up with the tongue. Rising sea tides surge. Encounter the cliff. The sleeping volcano awakes. Erupts. Erupts with no warning. Promised land. A touch of heaven. Taste. The sweet crimson fragrance. Mind goosebumps explode. Echoing thoughts embedded into memory. Heaving scented air to die and kill for. Embraced ecstasy. Wild delight. The phoenix rises above its ashes. Then we burrow in close, two bodies releasing, one breath, drowning under the waves of sugar cane storm vibrations, glued together, finding home, coiled, tucked in each other's sweat, cooling off, lay breathless, waiting to resurface. End poem. What did you think, Pam Ray?
Well, great read there, Gray. Oh my goodness. This too is an amazing sensual rite for sure. I always enjoy and appreciate the use of nature imagery for sensual rites to be used as metaphors to set the tone. This is very erotic. I like how it speaks on awakening sensual pleasures. An excellent right on being brought together to the peaks of pleasure and then the breathlessness afterwards. And such great lines throughout. But I do especially like those last two stanzas. Beautifully written and very well done.
I agree wholeheartedly, Pam. Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, it's steeped in rich layers of metaphors. Imagery is palpable and engaging. The whole thing's just fantastic throughout. And these are the nights to remember. Um, I mean, it's a bit of a scary picture because it looks like they're covered in blood and they're just making love and covered in blood. And so that's a bit
That's
just,
what I thought the first time I saw that artwork.
yeah, I guess that's kind of what it is. It's um, you're letting the blood flow, I guess, and this is representing that, I think. But uh, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed "Candle of Your Flame" dances around the wick, inflames the straw trigger, igniting straw sets off fire. Your fingers crowd on the violin's neck, fiddlehead, the nugget of pain. Tune it up with the tongue, rising sea, tide surge, encounter the cliff. The sleeping volcano awakes, erupts with no warning. Yeah, that can happen. Volcanoes can erupt without warning. You know, when the pressure is building, it builds and it just lets go when it has to. So I thought it was great. Great job, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Pam, where are we to next?
All right. Up next, we have Starlight in My Hands by Piercy. And it goes like this: counting freckles on her skin while tracing them into myths of lovers older than the first spin, of this earth that holds us tight, as I hold her now in revolutions on our yellow patchwork couch, dot to dot like constellations, telling the story of every life, lines that have tied her to my lap with star silk under softest palms, I kiss all the treasure marks found on the map of her body until dawn. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam. And I like how it goes from counting freckles on her skin to the map of her body until dawn. Um, yeah, there's something about a body that is like a map, and you can trace where your path leads, and you can know all the little marks, nuances, inflections, and that skin has. That you can close your mind and you can follow those, and it takes you there to that place, to that time, to that space. Um, my comment was, I was on your journey of her body throughout, and then I said, with star silk under softest palms, I kiss all the treasure marks found on the map of her body until dawn. Yeah, it's a beautiful write, very well done, and yeah, great write.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I like how this speaks on like the tracing of the body and the tracing from one freckle to the next is the representation of also tracing the like say the lines in the palm that the belief that the lines in the palm can be read to show your fate, to show what your destiny is. And that idea of tracing this person is tracing the path that you took to find this kind of love, this kind of desire and connection. Wonderful imagery and metaphors and great consistency in tone, beautifully written all the way through. But I did especially like that last stanza with star silk under softest palms. I kiss all the treasure marks found on the map of her body until dawn. Beautifully written by Piercy and very well done. All
Great
right.
comment, Cameron.
And let's see what we have next. All right. Getting back to where I need to be. And up next, we have Vanity by SKN. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
All right. Embers crackle, boiling water hums, steam hisses, satin skin. Sorry, steam kisses, satin skin. A head, a bead of sweat, a breath held in. Hand me a warm towel, Turkish cotton. Yes, that one, thank you. To the vanity I drift. Glass of watermelon juice, frosted rim, dew pink, sweet as melange memory, clinging to my cold, sugared wrist. Spinoza lies open, unread. Lord, keep me from unraveling. Withering orchids slump on the rail, petal ghosts in wet magnolia wind. Daisy chains snap, delicate in perfumed zephyrs. I smile, swallow a shiver as silver air swells. The sky, smudged charcoal, tongues the hills with rain light. My touch, smooth as lacquer, brows like umbral brushstrokes, doe-eyed in a mirror, lips plump, blood and thorn, the precise shade of war and wanting. Castor oil fingers trace my throat, nightgown loose in practiced grace. A glance towards the terrace, black clouds bloom. Brush your raven hair, darling. Smile like a secret. Let aloe soothe whatever burns beneath. Sheets turned down, silk on thigh, your breath at cusp of my slender nape, and then a quiver. The hush, the hush. The arms of Morpheus gather me whole. End poem. And what are your thoughts, Family?
Great read there, Gray. Well, the first thing I like about this poem is you can really see the connection with the artwork that's attached to it. But yet, at the same time, if there was no artwork, this would stand beautifully on its own. Wonderful imagery and metaphors. Really, again, we've got one here to me that is such a treat for all the senses. It has a very nostalgic feel to it in a way, I think, because of the word choices and the imagery. Um, and I like how it speaks on the idea of one who finds himself drifting into realms of lustful thought. This is a person, a woman who knows her own sensual power, who's very captivated by herself, and allows her mind to wander into those realms of delicious desire. And I think there's great lines throughout, but I especially like, I smile, swallow a shiver as silver air swells, the sky smudged charcoal, tongue the hills with rain light. My touch smooth as lacquer, brows like umbral brushstrokes, doe-eyed in the mirror, lips plump, blood and thorn, the precise shade of war and wanting. Wonderful lines, beautifully written, and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam. Thanks so much. But yeah, I'm not big on Greek mythology, so I had to Google Morpheus, and apparently he is a something to do with dreams, and he presents as a human being in dreams. So yeah, it was. It's imagery filled, evoking a sense of passion and desire. My touch, smooth as lacquer, brows like umbral brushstrokes, doe-eyed in a mirror, lips plump, blood and thorn, the precise shade of war and wanting. Um, Stellar, right? Beautifully done. Thank you, SKN or Skin. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Morpheus is actually where the word morphine came from. Like that's the origin of the name for the drug morphine.
Wow,
Yep.
crazy.
All right, I'm grabbing the next one, and we have Crescendo 18 by Arthur Merlin. And it goes like this. My maestro runs his hands lovingly over my curves, warmed up and ready, one hand wrapped firmly around my neck. He begins to play a song composed just for me. He expertly plucks each one of my strings again and again, gently coaxing a crescendo with each stroke, a little harder, a little louder. His jewel toned fingers flick faster to the rising rhythm, a little harder, a little louder, feverishly fingering an accelerating melody, forte more. His garnet grip on my neck tightens, power builds, fortissimo, approaching apex, harder, louder, climax, sustain, a breathless echo, the peak of a masterpiece, a surge of intensity and emotion subside, softly strumming as lingering vibrations whisper praise. With a bow to a speechless crowd, he puts my body on display so they can worship my in, intricacies, admire the voice whose words were so carefully crafted by his genius. He carries me home to do it all over again without the audience. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam. And I like his the style of his poem. He's got it shaped like a violin's neck, I think. And like this the double entendre of this being an instrument and a body is palpable. Um, with a bow to a speechless crowd, he puts my body on display so they can worship my intricacies, admire the voice whose words were so carefully crafted by his genius. He carries me home to do it all over again without the audience. Like the personification of a musical instrument has always been fantastic to me. Um, there's something so striking about a musician and their instrument, the relationship, the intimacy, the connection, um, you, who doesn't want to be a musician's instrument, really? There's something so pure in that connection that creates the music between an instrument and a musician. Just a lovely, right? What did you think, Pam Ray?
Oh, this is beautiful. I too really liked the shaping of this poem, the way the lines flow back and forth. It makes it not only a delight to listen to, but also very visually appealing. Like it really is one of those poems that people need to look at. The use of the mention of the curves, the grabbing of the neck, the plucking of the string. It makes me think of playing a cello, but it also has that wonderful duality of the idea of playing a lover, touching them just right. And I like the spacing used when he has climax and he has the word climax stretched out and then sustain all by itself. There's certain space, there's a spacing right in the center where you feel yourself losing your breath as you read these just absolutely captivating and erotic language that is so beautifully written. It's a wonderful write on intimate music shared with the audience. And, so that the audience is receiving that pleasure of hearing the music. And in your mind, as you're reading the poem, you imagine these two lovers just playing each other and as beautiful music of eroticism is created. So wonderful write by Arthur Merlin and very well done.
Great comment, Pam. Thank you so much. Alrighty, where are we to next, Pam Ray?
All right. Well, let's see here. We have do, 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 do. Deep, Deep Eyes by Ianthea. And go ahead, please, Gray. I think, right? Is it your turn? Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
is. All right. Go ahead and give that a read.
those eyes, haunting and deep, holding a reservoir of darkling red intensity, a ball of simmering fire, gathering strength and volume with every inaudible breath, burning gaze that overwhelms, drowns me in an amber sea. They speak in a tongue ancient as eternity, with soundless rhythms, a language of flowing silence that moves on my skin powerfully, intentionally, like a lusty dance of creation and devastation, penetrating my epidermal layers of my flesh and bones pouring into my crimson river. He needs no words, silky, cajoling tone, no brawny huskiness either, or silken clothes to captivate me, for those eyes speak the dialect of intrigue, idioms of lovemaking, poetry, mesmeric. And I want to lay down my arms, my anxiety, the translucent sheath of white satin draped around my body, the veil of lace and timidity on the ground, where he stands like an old oak tree rooted to the earth, strong, immovable, while I tremble like a leaf. His steadfast eyes dropping an anchor into my ocean heart, calming my surging moon tides, undressing me with intangible touches, sinuous glances, bearing my deep burn, and I rise on waves, untamable, merging with foam and froth, the delirium of the sea, thrashing against faithful cliffs, shores with grim boundaries to reach the freedom of the skies, the perfect blue of love, where I subsist within the haven of his eyes, folds of his skin, the crook of his arms, worshipping him with the bounteous swells of my body, reverent gaze, sweetest lips, surrendering myself to those eyes, deep as the abyss of my want, dark as the quiet lure of the occult moon, undeniable as the perfumed night that's made for passion, aphrodisiacal tussles on beds of roses and clouds, heartbreaking ecstasy and poem. Pamela, what did you think?
Great read there, great. Oh man, I tell you, Ayanthia is such a talented poetess. I gave this one a gold in one of my Art of Seduction contests. Wonderful imagery and metaphors, a beautiful flowing of her lines. This is to me an amazing sensual write, and I like how it focuses on the eyes and the idea of how you can see that love and that desire and passion within the eyes of your lover. And the how important, contact can be in those moments when one feels the need to be held within their arms. And I think there's great lines throughout, but I especially like, and I rise on waves untamable, merging with foam and froth, the delirium of the sea, thrashing against faithful cliffs, shores with grim boundaries to reach the freedom of the skies, the perfect blue of love. Wonderful lines, beautifully written, and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, there's so much said with the eyes. You know, they can say so much with a glance, with um, the meeting of two eyes. You know, in a crowd that just know they know that there's so much more to that look than just the look. There's a language that's spoken without saying a word that just pull you in and wrap you in silk and get you ready for the bedroom with a look, you know. Um, I'm all about eyes, really. I mean, being named Gray Eyes, I guess so. But beautiful, right? Antia, so seductive, so engaging, so rich and textured and layers. Uh, just a lovely, lovely right. Thanks so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Great comment, Gray. All right. Well, up next, I've put Daisies and Debauchery by Latour 2021. And they were nice enough to supply us with a SoundCloud. So I'm going to go ahead and go get that. So here we go.
Daisies and Debauchery, a poem by Adam Mitchell. Untwining each peak and crest, emotions and body as one, slowly the heat of smooth flesh unpressed. The hideous hue, burnt orange, mars and scars. The cursed colour pours through our view. The upside-down house, a curiosity to a few. We are the only two, the most haunting city, silent, stark, but seminal presence. Old school rock, gardens, parks, rivers, and debauchery galore. Culture, wisdom, and glorious past. Alfresco punting, drinking, staggering. Loving the scent of green grass, feeling the soft buds of the sensual daisies. On my back, on your breast, the delicate petals, only we will toy and caress. Slowly brushing, feeling each floral touch. Bare beneath twilight and stars, such a dark, perfect night. No shame, no care, emotions exposed. The fleeting moments, the euphoria, such sensuality only we can share. Moisture, dew, passion, lust, thrust, no restraint. The night is ours, no others. This was the epitome, the depraved but most passionate love. Once, twice, thrice. Unison passion, etched forever, memories we alone possess. Thank you for listening.
Wow, what a fantastic reading. You got a perfect reading voice, in my opinion. Uh, Pam Ray, what did you think?
Yes, absolutely a wonderful reading voice for sure. This is a beautiful sensual right. I like how there's layers to it. Like on one hand, it really is just about that straightforward sexual desire for between two people and the passions that they share. But it also speaks on the idea of two people who need to find time together away from the busyness of the city, away from the chaos of life. And I think there's just such wonderful lines throughout with wonderful imagery. But I especially like Bare Beneath Twilight and Stars, such a dark, perfect night. No shame, no care, emotions exposed, the fleeting moments, the euphoria, such sensuality only we could share. Moisture, dew, passion, lust, thrust, no restraint. The night is ours, no others. Wonderful lines and beautifully written by Latour 2021.
Absolutely. Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. Yeah, I liked it as well. Um, there's something about making love outside in a field of daisies that I think everybody wants that at some point in their life, to be outside of the walls, because we all make love inside of the house, like so many people never have made love outside of a bedroom. And, there's so many people that are doing it in forests, they're doing it lakeside, they're doing it in the lakes, you know, they're experiencing sexuality and sensuality outside the confines of a bedroom, because that, that, I don't know. That's just where we end up when we make love is in the bedroom. But some people are on the couch or on the kitchen counter. They're on the front doorstep. They're doing it wherever it lands. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. So I enjoyed Daisies and Debauchery. It's just so fantastically named poem. Um, There beneath twilight and stars, such a dark and perfect night. No shame, no care, emotions exposed. Yeah, there's something about that making love outdoors that really appeals to me. Beautifully done. Thank you so much for sharing the tour 2021.
Oh,
Beautiful views as
absolutely.
well. Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really, honestly, lovemaking should include some, changing things up, like getting outside of the bedroom. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be like on public display, but even just another room in your house or your apartment, whenever possible. Oh,
Exactly. Yeah. I
yes.
mean, like I said, strip the confines of the four-bedroom walls, and there's a whole universe out there that you could be making love in. But like you said, not to be a public spectacle or anything, but
Exactly. Exactly. Well said there, Gray. Well said there. All right. Well, up next, we have Satan's Kiss by S.E. England. And I believe, let me check, I believe it's your turn, Gray, because I believe I read the music one. Yes. No, no, you read the music one, or the Deep Deep Eyes. You read Deep Deep Eyes. And so it's actually now my turn. All right. Got it figured out now. So this is Satan's Kiss by S.E. England. And it goes like this. One night, while drinking all alone, amid stale smoke and cheap cologne, trying to hide my haggard face while staring blindly into space, I sensed someone watching me and side-eye glanced in time to see a most alluring, subtle grin as she began to reel me in. But evil lurked behind her smile, so beautiful and yet so vile. I tried but couldn't look away from lips inviting me to play, luridly enticing me to indulge untold fantasy, seducing me with wanton eyes. She peeled away my weak disguise, beguiling me against my fear of that by which she drew me near. Savagely she ravaged me to ecstasy and agony. Betrayal of my blind desire scorched me as I fed her fire, until helpless I gave in, and I fell prey to mortal sin, then drifted off in wicked bliss, my soul the price of Satan's kiss. End poem.
beautifully read, Pam Ray. And yeah, when you're the prey, when you're being hunted. And she was definitely being hunted by this devil in disguise as a woman. Um, but so many people will feed themselves into the fire and say, "Hell, take my soul." Okay, I'll give it in for what I've got coming. So um, I thought it was a beautiful rate on giving into dark desires and being led astray from the path of righteousness. So um, beautifully done. I liked it a lot. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Well, this is nicely written. I mean, it has such great rhyme and flow and captivating lines. I like the dark sensuality in this. I like how it speaks on the idea of being willing to pay the price as one is lured into those moments of temptation. Um, and I thought there was great lines throughout, but I especially like I tried but couldn't look away from lips inviting me to play, luridly enticing me to indulge in untold fantasy. Wonderful lines by S.E. England and very well done.
Great comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. All
All
right. Well,
right.
we've got 5 minutes left. I don't know if you want to give it a try or.
Well, yeah, and just so you know, just a reminder that StreamYard doesn't drop us. It gives us that extra time, so we can definitely fit in one last poem
All
to
right.
read and comment on.
Okie dokie.
So let me grab that. And all right, so up next we have The Lure by Dot Yeager. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Okay. Like a many faceted diamond, you shine, drawing in the light and casting off color, a kaleidoscope of vision warped. Looked into your beliefs, not to be pried open, not to be broken. An oyster with your crusty, rigid surface, what pearl lies within? I could study the many aspects of you, magnificent and monstrous, a dizzying fascination. You are a mangled butterfly flapping in desperation. I know the lure of the flame with its semblance of warmth and lighted comfort, with its promise of heat and fiery passion. I am like the rabbit who lusts after the fox, frozen in your gaze. I could burn, eternal. Sensual mouth, alluring eyes, the longing to tame waves of unruly locks, seductive charm, dangerous, carnal appeal. These things could inspire a mute surrender to your hellish blaze. These things could reduce me to ashes. End poem. And Pam Ray,
Great
what did
read.
you think?
A
Sorry, thank you.
wonderful read there, Gray.
Thank you.
And oh, I love the captivating lines in this, the imagery and the metaphors. It's a wonderful balance. Like it's got a dark sensuality to it, but it's not over the top dark. It's kind of like this idea of how lust and desire just pulls at you until you're aching and you just desire to burn with that person in this erotic heat. And I thought there was such wonderful lines throughout, but I did especially like the imagery and metaphors in those last two stanzas. Beautifully written sensuality by Dot Yeager, and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought it was a wonderful poem as well. Um, it's got a dark sensuality to it that is appealing. I could study the many aspects of you, magnificent and monstrous, a dizzying fascination. You are a mangled butterfly flapping in desperation. Um, Powerful imagery right there, but you can feel the heat of this right. Sensual mouth, alluring eyes, the longing to tame waves of unruly locks, seductive charm, dangerous carnal appeal. These things could inspire a mute surrender to your hellish blaze. These things could reduce me to ashes. Yeah, when you're a moth, you really want to get close to that flame. So, but closer means hotter, and hotter means burning you up. So, um, yeah, I thought it was great. A great write by Dot
Oh,
Yeager.
absolutely. Absolutely. And wonderful show tonight, Gray. Great lineup of sensual poetry for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining me, Pam Ray. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Um, Thank you, Louis Wildup, for trying to call in. Thank you, T Manzano, for calling in. Thank you, Robbie, Amy, and everybody else that hung out in the group. Um, Much love, poets, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.